gosh. And I remembered to hit record.
You sound like you need some tea and lemon with honey.
I don't have the honey, but I got the rest of it right here.
Good job.
Okay, good.
I am so much in love with all of you. To jump on the call yesterday and go, dang.
Yeah, we had a good call.
We sure did. We talked about various things, but other than that, it was in perfect alignment.
You know, it's when we step out of the way. See, well, first of all, good morning, Misfits. It is Sunday is it the 26th? I don't even know what day it is.
It is the 26th. Yep.
Yep, Sunday.
Good morning, Misfits. It is Sunday, January 26th. I'm still in Biloxi. I get to be in Biloxi. I'll be here till tomorrow. I've got to bring about 23 of my Latin team back to the airport tomorrow because I'll let you in on a little clue. There's some things you can do for your team, but one of the greatest things you could ever do, at least in my opinion, is pick them up from where they land and drop them off to when they need to go home. You'll be the last one that's in their mind as they get off the plane or get on the plane. I do my best to do that with my entire team. Doesn't matter what rank or what level they're at, or where we're coming into. So there's days that it'll be 18 hours back and forth to the airport picking up everybody, and they go, "No, I'll just get a car." I'm going to encourage you, take good care of your team. So that being said, what an amazing weekend. You've all have had amazing weekends before. But this one was wildly awakening for so many people. It was powerful. For me, for a lot of people, we met Kim Pothier. I think that's how you say her last name, Real Talk Kim. She's a hoot. How many of you are familiar with her? Real Talk Kim. Any of you familiar with her?
I am a little bit. Yeah, she came to Dallas to speak a couple months ago.
Okay.
I haven't heard of her.
Okay. If you are open for real conversation and her story, she's powerful. So here's the funny thing. I didn't know her. I didn't know her at all. I heard we were having her speak. Somebody, my upline, my sponsor, saw her at an event, and she's the kind of person when she sees somebody, she goes, "I got to meet her." Long story short, she's coming to the event. I still don't know. They call her Preacher Kim, Real Talk Kim. I'm not even sure what her name is. And I see her there at the airport because she's got this loud jacket on and she's got these big old glasses on. And so I walked over. I told her thank you from a speaker standpoint, all of the traveling we do as a keynote speaker standpoint. We had a little conversation. I got in my van with my folks. She got in another car that was picking her up by some of the team. And that was it. I'm like, oh, how cool. At least I got a picture with her, right? Come to find out, we had dinner with her, and and Heather told her story again to her. Now, on Instagram, just on Instagram, I think she's followed by 850,000, 860,000 people, something like that. And after she heard Heather's story, for those of you who Heather love, who's on the story, she's actually on a plane going home right now. She asked her to be on her podcast. That's going to change Heather's life, but the world needs to know about Heather's story. I say all of this to say at 4:59 in the morning, Thursday morning at 4:59 in the morning, Heather sends me a text. She says, "I don't think I'm going to be able to come." Last night we were sitting in my room. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a big old bear over there. And Heather was curled up on that bear. We were talking, me, Heather, and Rhonda and Patricia. And I asked Heather, I said, "Are you glad you came?" She said, "I would have never known this was possible. Would have never known all of the things that could have happened to me." So I'm not saying like an upline or as a network marketer, make sure you're at the event. What I am saying is that if you've got something on your calendar, if there's something that pulls at your heart, the devil will try to keep you from it, because there are life-changing moments. There are nuclear moments that happen in a split second. The story got even so strong that Heather was actually there in the room next to me. The girls are in the room next to me, and Heather actually was, the resistance was so strong, she almost didn't come down out of the room. She got here, went upstairs, and then we were all downstairs, and she was going to come back down, and it took her almost 15 minutes to come back down because something wanted to keep her away from it. Again, I share all of that to say this. You are being called for something. You are needing to be awoken, if that's a word, so that you can awaken the rest of the world. Your story, every one of you who think, well, I wasn't in prison. I didn't spend 3 years in a Columbia prison. I didn't leave my 5-year-old son for 3 years. My child didn't recognize me when I came back home. Your story is as powerful. I promise you this. Your story is as powerful as all of the things necessary to take your journey to the next level. The universe is waiting to deliver you to the next level. It's waiting for you to step up. It's waiting for you to open that door. It's waiting for you to hear that knock, and you go answer it. So that being said, that was one of the first, absolutely, that was beyond aha. That was like, oh, that was like Angels of Choir singing aha moment. Because I had gone to the airport to go pick up the last run at 11 o'clock that night. And when I came back, Rhonda says to me, she goes, I think you may need to do a session with Heather. She's not tuned in. She's not here right now. But because they were sitting across the table from each other, and she was actually sitting next to Leslie, and Leslie was having a conversation and keeping her present. But there was this, and then I come back and Rhonda says that to me, and I look down and I see Heather holding court with 11 women at this table, and the conversation is there, and Heather's just got them all mesmerized with the truth. The truth, that word just popped into my head, the truth of her story. So some of you, there's a story that's happening inside of you right now that there would be a valuable truth to your story when it gets told. So make sure you send out your 3 messages this morning. Those messages in the morning could make a huge difference. And let's see here. Y'all ready for some notes? Let's see here, just to give you an idea. What day did this start? I'm just going to count how many notes I got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 23 pages of notes. We're not going to get through them all. So the first day that we had was inspirational stories, inspirational conversations. And what your business can do, we're in a wellness business. Your business, be it financial, be it service, be it electricity, be it currency, be it skincare, be it whatever it is, there's always an underlying reason people get started. And your business is as powerful on the human nature side as powerful as your business model. I need you to hear that. Sometimes I hear in the industry, and it makes me just giggle my pants off. That's a scary thought, right? It makes me just giggle my butt off when people say, I don't want to sell potions, lotions, or whatever. Even if you have those, you're not selling those. You are selling hope. You are selling dreams. You are giving people the chance. There's coffee there.
Did you giggle your pants off, or can I come in?
You can giggle. Rhonda just asked if I giggled my pants off.
I ain't coming in if you giggled your pants off.
Yeah, I see that, Granny. So just understand that they all hearing my party voice.
You a whole beast.
Yeah, a whole beast. They're just So the point is that everything that you have to offer has nothing to do with your product. People are not signing up with you to exchange currency. They're not signing up with you to get a cheaper electricity rate. They're not signing up with you to get great, amazing skincare that doesn't have any SSC or something, whatever that is in it, or parabens. They're not signing up with you for weight loss to lose weight. They're not signing up with you for an energy drink to get energy. What they're signing up for is hope. How much are people willing to pay to have hope? And if people don't sign up with you, it's because you're not a hope dealer. If you're gonna be into dealing something that's addictive, why not deal in the thing they're already looking for? You haven't been able to overcome their addiction to what they've already hooked on. What they're hooked on is their story. What they're hooked on is what everybody has told them to be. And you come along with this ability, bless you, with this ability to make them feel better, this ability to put a smile on their face, this ability with this incredible story that says, I need help. Which is why I teach you the 3 questions to ask. Do I have your permission to help? Do you know why it's so simple for me to have a conversation with somebody about their future? Is because I ask them, is it okay to help them with their past? And do it right now in the present. So let's see here. Dinner conversation between, oh, so these are my journal notes. We may get to those. Let's see here. What story creates a strong passion in your life? This is the opening note of our event. What story creates a strong passion in your life? What if you use that as a prospecting question? What if somebody like a Monique, who has absolutely been to Hades and back a couple of times, she's got frequent flyer tickets. And when she shows up, Mario, I love you too. When she shows up and sits down across from somebody and she tells their story, how many of you, when you heard that she was 300 pounds?
409 to be exact.
How much?
409 to be exact.
Girl, you are a whole beast.
That's right.
You are a whole beast.
Yep.
409 pounds, y'all. Now, there's people who have lost 409 pounds, but it's been at the same pounds a couple of times over. So when she sits down, what's the first thing that somebody says when they look across at her? Oh my gosh. And they see this body in front of her. The challenge is sometimes that Monique can't see that the body that she sits in now, she can. But the challenge is that as she went through the process, oh, that's you.
Oh, here.
You buy them books and looks what happens.
Stop.
Yeah, there's another party boy. Y'all say morning to Robe Lady.
Here, I'll turn mine off.
Turn yours off. Lord. And that's with 2 degrees.
You know what's funny, Sean, if I can say this one thing, when you say when I sit next to somebody, what's funny about that is when I was 409 pounds, just that alone was creating an ability for me to sit next to people because I was so big that I always had to segregate myself because I couldn't sit between people because I was so big. You know, like I was always in people's space, right? So I had to always put myself in the back of the room or the chair where there was nobody else around me. So it kept me away from people in a sense, you know?
And here's what happened. Nobody wanted to be around you either.
Right.
They didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
They became uncomfortable. So listen carefully. You know what the problem with success is? I need every one of you to hear this. You know what the problem with success is? Everyone becomes uncomfortable because it's your story. We think they get excited. We think they want to be around us. They think they want us to be the ones to give them the high five. They come over and they hug us and they want a picture with us. You know why they want a picture with us? because in that moment, that's as close as they're going to get to success.
Ooh. Why you gotta hurt us like that, Sean?
This is just downloading. So the fact that Monique can now sit and have a conversation with somebody, can absolutely sit next to someone. We're all lucky. Listen carefully. We're all lucky. You know the one that she gets to sit next to that really that makes the rest of us a second-class citizen is her daughter. She gets to sit next to her. She gets to put her arm around her. Her business didn't do that. Not a single company, not a single upline, not a single sponsor. A friend could help her through that, but not a business. There's not a compensation plan in the world that says, hey, listen, you need to lose 300 pounds. But there is compensation for you living your story. Ooh, somebody write that down. That'll hit you square between the eyes. There is compensation for you when you decide to live your story. I'm a farm boy from Ohio with a 0.9 grade point average. When I owned that story, my life changed. Changed forever. So the question I have for you, that's question number one. See, I don't take notes. I take questions. Because what I need to do, what I want to do in this world is I want to be able to ask people to find out, do you know where you are at? I don't ask you your why. You know your why not. When I ask you why, that question ain't strong enough to overcome your why not. Well, why not? Why should I do that? Well, I want to do it. And then you get home and your why not goes, oh, yeah, right, whatever. When Monique said, I lost 10 pounds, okay, she's now 399 pounds. Woo! What's everybody else saying? She lost, she gave away. And everybody else is going, that's like throwing a deck chair off the Queen Mary. I can't even tell something happened. We have to give people courage. When you are sitting across from somebody, they have just as painful a story. They didn't even notice until I lost 100 pounds. Y'all hear that? Some of you are worrying about your check and your compensation plan, and you're going and you're worrying about somebody going to come up to you and go, "How much have you made?" You know what I say? Next. You're going to let my success, my determination, my activity determine your success? You got problems. I'm asking you to stand tall in your shoes. And some of you, it's to stand tall in your high heels. I saw somebody had a shirt the other day and it said, "Conquering hell in high heels." That's y'all. And for the guys on here, you probably don't need to be in high heels. So, number two, what is your story that motivates you? But see, that's what everybody says. Listen carefully. That's what everybody says. What's the story that motivates you? If they knew what the hell it was, they wouldn't be talking to you. The thing that I would encourage you to ask them is, what's the story that embarrasses you? And let's see if we can't turn that into gold. Oh. Your story that embarrasses you is the thing that's hidden right underneath. You need to go prospecting for your story.
You slept at all?
A little bit.
Wow.
Jasmine goes, sheesh.
Yeah, Jasmine, I hear you, girl.
What story are you
telling?
You go, girl. You're a whole beast. What do you tell yourself that's more important than you?
Oh.
What are you telling yourself that's more important than you? Manny, thanks for the shout out on the IG, brother. What? Did y'all hear that? You know, listen, I'm glad I'm recording this. Rhonda just goes, we're getting spanked at Sean's room. I'm like, right. Listen, I got a cheering section here this morning. There they is. No, and that's not a beehive on top of Rhonda's head. Listen, y'all, listen, I told you we got 24 pages of notes. Y'all ready for this? The Robe Gang. The Robe Gang.
The Robe Gang. Yeah, Monique, I love you.
Y'all, where could you go do this? Listen, this is not possible without you. I swear to goodness. Y'all just make this happen. What leadership call? What multi-generational conversation could you have where some guy sounds like he just crawled out of the back seats, the cheap seats of a ball game, and you got two sexy women sitting on your bed? This doesn't happen anyplace else. It's because y'all. All right, here's the next question. You see, I don't take notes. I don't say, then she said, then he said, ooh, they said this. It doesn't matter what they said. It's what am I taking away? Where does your highest priority lie? Where does it lie? Does it lie in your family? Is Sean done lost his voice? He must have been having we were having a good time. I'm not sure who it was, because I can't read that fast. My eyes are tired.
That was Brittany. Brittany, you have no idea.
Amani. So that last question was, where's the highest priority in your life? What is the highest priority in your life? Oh no, where does the highest priority in your life lie? Here's the next one. Where does cheating take place in your life?
Oh. Not in Sean's room.
Can I get a Z snap and a head shake? Oh, 2 snaps and a booty shake. Well, that ain't happening. What? Listen, I'm laughing my butt off. C snaps and a head shake. Listen, what path? Listen, not path. I'm on a roll this morning. I'm like butter, baby. I'm like butter. I'm on a roll. I'm on a biscuit, baby. That's a big biscuit right there, baby. I've been waiting all weekend for a Rhonda snort. So, y'all get this? This is what life is supposed to be like. You're not supposed to get on calls in the morning and be like, we can have a little fire and brimstone. I'm up with that. But what we're not going to have is talking down to somebody. We're not going to talk down to somebody. We're here. We all get on here and we throw our hand up, praise Jesus and praise the Lord. When are you going to do that? When are you going to raise up the person across from you and raise up their name, raise up their family? You realize we all talk about this. Oh, I'm breaking generational curse. Do you realize the next person you're talking to probably has a curse bigger than yours? And you've been blessed to be able to sit across from them. And you're going to go, ooh, you ain't so hot. You know what they're saying? You ain't so hot neither. Until you get clear in your story, until you get clear in your word. So, listen carefully. What are you doing?
You're talking. You're amazing. I'm just moving your camera up to where you're. I don't want you to talk down to me today. I'm too tired.
So here's the setup. So you think this is the 7-figure income that y'all sometimes put up on chat. That's what it's being supported by. Some beef jerky. That's a beef jerky box, my electronic box, and a pillow. So when y'all are going, well, I need to give me a stand. I need to be so sophisticated. Here's the next question. Where do you tell stories? I'm done.
Since I'm done.
So where do you tell stories to? RO3_RO32X. Oh, want to send me a message. Where do you tell stories to? Listen carefully. What makes you a good storyteller? What makes you a good storyteller? Sometimes if you're a parent, you've made up some of the greatest stories on the planet. You've sat there and you've told your children some of the greatest stories. You gathered their attention. You told them about the universe and purple egg eating pigs, and you made up all of these stories. And you know why you became a good storyteller? And they said, Daddy, tell me one more. Tell me that story again. You're like, what story? Mama, tell me that story again. I don't know why all your kids are from the South. Mama, tell me that story again.
Mom and them.
Mom and them. Ewans up north. Ewans, you would tell me that's. It's because your heart was in it. Because you got yourself out of the way. You dreamed again. You had emotional connection with making your youngin' smile, your child smile. Y'all are amazing at this. If you got brothers or sisters, you've told stories. Sometimes y'all banded together. We got to get our story straight before Mama and Daddy whoop our butt. And you come up with a story. Now, here's the funny thing. Your parents knew the truth. I'm thinking, I'm watching Mason tell me story after story growing up and I have them all written down. I got them on my memory board. And I'll go, dude, do you remember telling me this? And he just like puts his head down. He goes, I can't. How did I think you would ever be able to tell that story? You wouldn't believe it. But here's the funny thing. Santa Claus, Tooth Fairy, Boogeyman. When you hear all this, you don't need to be trained by somebody else. You need to be reminded by somebody else. But there's absolutely no way I can train you. I can't train you. I can remind you. And the question is are you willing to be reminded? Because we all want to get trained. We all want to pile stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff. So here's your training. Here's your training. How many of these bags, how many of these sugar bags can you stack on top of each other? All right? How many of these sugar bags can you stack on top of each other before they start to what? The hell's that noise over there? The demon be in my room. Oh, look, I can stack these up. Remember when you were a little kid? Remember when you were a little kid and you started stacking sugar packs? Oh, look, they fell over. And what's the little kid do? You gave them those things. Stack the creamers. Mason used to stack creamers, and we used to count them while we're waiting for the food. How high can they go? How high can it go? And you would stack, and you'd watch them stack it. And then they'd get really high when you'd put them together and you'd start making that little pyramid. Oh, we were making pyramids when we were little kids. What is your foundation? What needs to be let go? What needs to be undeveloped? That's why the link to this call is called personal undevelopment. You are so developed, it's not even funny. You are wildly developed. The question is, what are you going to give up? You got to give up something. How do you listen, I'm going to ask you to really think about this for a second. How do you find new things in your life? Are you looking for them, or do they cross your path? Are you looking for new things, or do they cross your path? Do other people always have to bring you new things? See, there's a story there as it relates to new things. Listen, I'll be the first one to raise my hand. How many of us have bought a book or a tape and we go, that's good. And somebody refers it to us that we respect and honor, and they go, ooh, that you gotta have to listen to it. That's good. And we go, I'm getting that. And you get through the first 10 minutes of the audiobook, the first page of the book, and you go, oh, and some distraction happens. That distraction is the bad guy. that distraction, because you started to have traction on your dream, you started to have traction towards the thing you wanted. When somebody who loves you, honors you, and respects you says, this would be good for you, that old story shows up and goes, yeah, be good for them. It's okay if it's good for you too. Ooh, y'all ready for, oh no. This is just page 1, my loves. What do you pay attention to? Are you paying attention to somebody else's success? Oh. I'm not even talking about comparison. I'm not even talking about comparison. Are you paying attention to somebody else's success? Because what I'm learning this weekend is that if we really wanted to pay attention to it, guess what we all got in our future? If we really wanted to pay attention to somebody's success, and there's an underlying word that motivates you, that moves you, that inspires you, if there's a spirit that fills you, you know what's all in our future? Crucifixion. That's what's in our future. If you, I'm God-like, I'm Christ-like, I walk in his shoes, I follow his word. And guess what? When we head into the hill, you got your crown of thorns on? Hell, I know I don't want one. I don't need one. He did it for me. But I can walk in the path. I'll walk my walk. Some of you are carrying the cross right now. It's okay. You can put it down. Even somebody came along and picked it up for him. Let us help you. That's what this community is about. Let us help you lift up that cross, that burden, that fear that you have, that doubt that you have. Some of you are crucifying yourself from an old story. What were the last words? They know not what they do. What did he say just before that? Forgiving doesn't make it right. It frees you. There's a story you have that you're waiting on somebody else to give you forgiveness. Monique, can you imagine the story that Monique had to go through at 100 pounds? She's like, well, nobody's even noticing at 99 pounds. Nobody's noticing at 98 pounds lost, or 97 pounds lost, or 96 pounds lost. I'm sure she was absolutely crying her eyes out on a regular basis, not to mention the hormones changing and the body changing and everything else. It's not happening fast enough. Am I good enough? How many of you are sitting at 409 pounds right now with your spirit? You're sitting there at 409 pounds with your spirit, and you're thinking, you got a fat spirit. And even when you get your skinny spirit, you get your spirit on fire, there's a thing that's called, and it's a very medical term, it's called fat brain. And it's when you can't, Maxwell Maltz in his book, Cybernetics, he was a plastic surgeon. And the reason he calls it cybernetics is because it's all in the brain. He realized that when he would do these surgeries for these children and for these adults who had cleft lips and just disfigured faces, and he would do the surgery and as a plastic surgeon, and he would unwrap the bandages and he would put a mirror in front of them. Very few people smiled. They couldn't see the new you. It happened too quick. How many of you have you planted an oak tree out in front of your house right now? You went out to the park and planted an oak tree, and today you planted an oak tree, and tomorrow you came back and saw a full-grown oak tree. What would you say? Well, that can't be the one I planted. You would be in disbelief. Dis means not. How many of us, listen, I don't know if I could say that. How many of you, maybe it's an old phrase, man, ooh, you just got dissed. You just got dissed. How many of you are in disbelief? How many of you are dissing your own belief? How many of you are dissing your own story? Diss story. When was the last time you took a day for yourself? Thank you. When was the last time you took a day for yourself? Where are my moms on here? Where are my moms on here? Yeah, I got 2 hands raised over here. Listen, I need you to type an M in the chat if you're a mom on this call. And I'm talking to the moms, and the rest of y'all can just hang on for just a second. How many of y'all have ever just gone into the bathroom and laid down on the floor? I got 2 hands and a booty shake going on over here.
Big revelation.
Tessa's gone in the floor and just, now listen, I can't even imagine that. I can't even imagine that. Monique's raising her hand. Hide to eat a snack. That our quiet place. You right, Fanny?
Amen, Fanny.
Mia has. And how many of you have felt it was almost a lifetime? It was almost a lifetime for 5 minutes apiece. You know why it's so hard? Listen, this just downloaded to me. You know why it's so hard for you to go take time away now? Because listen, moms, the reason that you find it so hard to take time for yourself now is because you will feel guilty for taking that time when your kids were there. There's so much guilt running through your heart that you said, they're fine now. I can never do that again. I'm not worthy enough to take time. I just needed to keep it from beating the hell out of them. I needed to keep it from shaking from them. So I just had to go find a relief. But it wasn't a relief, it was a release. And now you need to take that time again to release the old story. See, I talk to people, mom guilt. You're at the fragrance, yep, by Chanel. You
By
go,
Chanel,
girl.
Mom guilt by Chanel.
By Shanae. It's time for you to go take that relief again. You don't need a release. Jesus, release me. He goes, you're already released. I put you here. What do you need to be released from? You need to be connected to. That's page 1. Y'all ready for page 2? Y'all do me a favor. Just stop for a second where you're at. If you're driving, keep your eyes open. Take a big old breath. That's the breath of faith and courage. Exhale fear and doubt. Take another big breath of faith and courage, because this is touching some of y'all's souls. This ain't note taking. This is life awakening. Y'all hanging in there? Y'all got your shoulder harnesses and your belt strap on?
You know it.
Let's see here. Awakening. So
I have my seatbelt on too.
She's got her seatbelt on too.
Let's see here. So here's the thing. Here's what I'd ask you to think about. When you know people's stories, and you become aware of what they're doing, you wind up with a new level of inspiration that allows you to move at a whole new level. So listen to this. There's a 9-month-old child that stops growing. And they start looking at his blood and everything else, and they start looking at his blood and they realize there's something wrong with him, something wrong with the blood and everything else. And as a mom, she goes into hyper mode. And what I mean hyper mode, I got to find an answer. How many of you are trying to interrupt a mom's search for their answer? By thinking, you got it. When you hold up your signs, you should be trading. You should be here on vacation with me. You should be eating healthier. What do you think that does to every mom who hears you should be doing this? You know what they're saying? That you should be jumping off a cliff. How many of you, when you were in your hardest moments, how many of you were in your trials and somebody comes along at 90 miles an hour with their car open with the best solution possible, and they're screaming at you driving by at 90 miles an hour, you should get in. And you're like, there goes one more opportunity I suck at. There goes one more chance for me to fail my family. You want to know why I got glue in my community? Because I put it there. I put the glue there. I make them sticky. I make them want to hug me. I make them want to say, I love you. Because I give them nothing else but that to say. Better than crazy glue. You got it, girl. When you all become a little bit more you, the rest of these stories fade away. How many of us absolutely wanted to give Monique's daughter this big old hug when we found out she was going into the military? How many of us absolutely, now listen, I'm not a mom. I may sound like one sometime. But I'm a dad, but I can't imagine the fear, the joy, the honor, the love of your baby girl, who you almost lost once. Sometimes the fear that just runs through a mom's mind. There is a fear inside y'all's brain that is absolutely different. And guys, time to sit your ass down. Let me talk to you for just a second. I'm talking to the guys on here now. You were talking to women, whether they have children or not. They have gone through so much emotional roller coaster tragedy and stress. And you're going to sit there and go, girl, what you doing? You need to be prospecting. Listen, take that fire and brimstone shit someplace else. When you start, if you don't sit down and you start to read a book and you get a little estrogen in your blood, you're not going to have a business that sticks with you till you're in your 50s. I'm just telling you. If you think you're so hot to trot, guess what? You're going to be trotting out by yourself. You're not going to be leading. You're going to be out for a walk. I'm just saying. The challenge is that if you wind up with a herd, you better be the shepherd. If you wind up with a herd, you better be the shepherd. And the challenge is the shepherd doesn't run when the wolf shows up. The shepherd doesn't run when the wolf shows up. When the night comes in, that's when the shepherd's got to be there. You owe it to your team to become aware. You owe it to your family to become aware. I don't know how old this saying is, but it's old. God didn't make no junk. He may have put some junk in your trunk, but he didn't make no junk. There is a beautiful woman here this weekend, absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
This is what I got to do. Oh, I got 9 hours of a ride home with this. Jesus, bless me, pray for me. Tiffany Malott. Now, I don't know if you know Tiffany Malott, but she is this amazing woman, strong African-American woman. And she has been 20 years in this profession. She has been wrung out, rode hard, put up wet. And there is a power, there is a strength that listen, I'm talking to all of my latte girls that you have to deal with that nobody else even has a clue about. I could never begin to imagine what it takes to be a woman in this world, let alone an ethnic woman, an African-American woman, a strong Latina, a strong Dominicana, and the pride that has to run through your soul, the pride that you were told we don't do that, we don't bend like that. What's that phrase? Black don't crack. What's that? And then, but that's just in the skin. But it goes even deeper than that, because you're told if you bend, you are broken. Let me let you in on a little clue. When you're broken, you can finally open. We need you. I promise you, my family needs you. My family needs you. We need every one of you. Rhonda needs you.
Yes.
She needs you more than you know.
Yes.
Patricia needs you sitting over here. Latoya needs you. Bree needs you. Brittany needs you. Brittany needs you. Monique needs you. This ain't a business of competition. It's a world of cooperation. And when we get that into our hearts, who could stop you? Listen, if you're on this call, do you think anybody could stop you? The only thing that can stop you is if you decide to not step in. I'm sure there's some spiritual song, step into the river. Step into the river. We're all here. We're in the river. Sometimes we got to not be the rock. We got to float along. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Is this good? Y'all liking this? I ain't even repeating that.
Tears and dear grandma's and tears.
Wow. Dang. Hey. Oh, y'all ready? Sweet Jesus, help me.
Take the wheel, man.
Yeah, take the wheel. What race are you running that you're looking to win? What race are you running that you're looking to win? How many of you realize that the starting line you're standing at right now is also what? The same finish line. Because in order for you to start, you had to cross the finish line to the old story. Absolutely, my finish line. So do you have to run the race? Why are you thinking it's got to be a 26-mile marathon when you're already standing at the finish line of the old story? Ooh, I'm going to run this race. I'm going to go get to the next level. I'm going to go get to the next level. I'm going to get to the next level. I'm going to go to the next rank. What do I need to do to go to the next rank? Look down at your feet and realize you've already won. You have already won. There's nothing you could do that's not already inside of you. Oh no, I gotta sacrifice. I gotta go get rejected. Go get your 10 no's. For what? Have you lost your mind? I gotta go get 10 no's. Oh, go get no's. No, 100 no's. Why don't you learn how to talk so you get yeses? Why don't you learn how to have a conversation of love instead of no's? Oh, but my mentor said you got to go get 100 no's. Go keep track of them. Go get 500 no's. Who the hell's got the strength for that? God's even going, I just sent one child. That was enough. I don't need to sacrifice anymore. Why are you sacrificing yourself every single day? Go get your 10 no's. Guess what you're going to get if you're looking for 10 no's? Who comes up with this? Why? Because they don't know any better. How many of you have ever said hello to somebody? How many of you have ever let somebody get inside of you get inside in front of you in line, how many of you have ever held a door open for somebody? Did you do that saying no's? Listen, you want to build your business? You want to build your business? You do this. Go get 100 thank yous. You want to learn what it means to be in service? Go get 100 thank yous. I partnered with a company that pays me to help people say thank you. Why do you have to go get no's? Why do you have to go get no's? You got to get 10 eggs thrown at you. You got to get 10 eggs thrown at you. And they need to be old eggs. Well, that was a fresh egg. Could you hit me with an old egg? I swear, Rhonda.
Okay.
Listen. Y'all sit down. Linda, listen. Oh, y'all ready? If you get another chance to run your race, you're going to have to run your own race. If you get another chance to run your race, you're going to have to run your own race. How many of you have been running in support of somebody else? How many moms have been running in support of their children? How many of you have been running in support of your little brother, your little sister, because your family life was just absolutely hell in a handbasket? How many of you have not had a chance running in support of your dad? And you may still have to do that. But when you get a chance to run your race, here's the fact. You're going to have to run your race. Huh?
We're the sound effects for everybody.
Oh. Have you ever asked, how did I get here? How did I get here? Right now, where you're at. Listen, you have overcome so much. But here's the thing, Brittany, let me ask you, if you've asked it 1,000,000 times, you should have 1,000,000 stories of glory. Or do you have 1,000,000 stories of I'm not good enough? Don't need to answer that. But you should have 1,000,000 stories of glory. How did you get here? You're this amazing, beautiful spirit, this amazing, beautiful soul. There's a big difference between how'd you get here and how did you get here? I don't know. What decisions do you have to make? Listen, if all of these are hitting you in the gut or hitting you square between the eyes, guess what happens if you learn how to ask these with love to a prospect? See, right now, I'm prospecting you. It ain't to be in a business. It's to be in this world. It's to have the most amazing conversation with yourself that you've ever had. Remember, what do I build? I build people. These are hitting in the jewels.
Yeah.
Learn to build people. The business will follow. We're in the business of making the world a better place. You know how much the world pays people to make the world a better place? You look at the industries that are evolving. You look at the technology that is evolving. We pay for convenience. How simple, how convenient can you help somebody live their life? You need to be, there's an app for that, and that app has got your name all over it. How many times have you been reminded you have made mistakes by those around you? Ooh, snap.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the question. If you got people around you, Christopher, that are reminding you many times, maybe it's time to get some new friends, or maybe it's time to put on some armor. Love them for where they're at. How many times? It'll be on YouTube. It'll be on my YouTube channel. Somebody can drop that in the chat. But it'll get recorded, and my assistant will put it up here. It'll probably be up here later on this afternoon. Yeah. my assistant in the Philippines, who doesn't go by the name. Anyway, how many times? So here's the thing. If you're being reminded by those around you, how many of you have ever looked at somebody when you knew that? How many of you have ever looked at your niece, your nephew, your brother or sister, and they said something that was just absolutely ridiculous, and you went, "Aw." So one of my brothers down in Latin America and Costa Rica taught us how to clap. Right? He said there's the strong clap, then there's the Superman clap, and then there's the cariño clap.
Aww.
See, I got my own little cheerleaders. I got my own little Rockettes right here.
Because you like that.
Aww. So when somebody around you inspires you and they make you strong, you can go, yeah. When you are becoming forceful and you can fly over buildings, you go, Superman, yeah. And then when they're just absolutely insane, you go, aww. How many of y'all have got people around you, you need to go, aww. So the next time somebody makes fun of you, says you're not good enough, reminds you of your story that it's lacking a chapter or two, you just go, aww. And they'll go, what are you doing? Nothing. Nothing. Aww. Won't that change the story? Y'all do that right now. Y'all do that right now. Everybody on the call, don't do it while you're driving, but do that right now. Just go, aww. Who's the one winning? Who's winning? I don't know who that is. Is that Trey with the hair laughing there? That sexy dude in the car? Who is that? So, listen, have you ever had to make something work? Have you ever had to make something work? What does that feel like? Listen, the reason I'm asking you this is because the next person you are blessed to bump into has got to answer all these questions too. They just have never had anybody ask them these questions. Oh, you know where these notes are coming from, Rhonda? The movie clips.
Oh, I loved that movie.
Y'all listen, McFarlane, McFarlane
USA.
So Tiffany Malott taught us amazing story by watching McFarlane USA about the football coach that gets fired and goes on to the track team. Might be worth a watch. Some of y'all might get that. Ooh, y'all ready? Y'all ready for this? Dun, 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 dun. Your crack is your creation. That crack that you are having right now, that thing where you feel you are being broken, that is your creation.
Expound on that. That kind of.
So when people say, I'm just so broken, great, you're about to open up. Y'all have this gold inside of you that you have locked inside of an armor vault, locked inside of a ceramic vault, locked inside of a glass vault. And maybe you've gotten to the armor. Maybe the ceramic is cracked and now everybody can see inside you, but that glass vault ain't been broken yet. Everybody sees that maybe you think everybody sees that you're this phony. You feel that you're not worthy. Oh my God, if they only knew my story. We already know your story. You're scared. You just call it something else. You feel lack. We just call it something else. Your lack story is different than my lack story, but you know what? Lack is lack.
You like
Crack-a-lackin'. Jesus, take the wheel. Oh, y'all ready for this? It's always the same air. That upline of yours that you're going, oh my gosh, how do they do it? They're breathing the same air. Why do you think you don't deserve as much? Why do you think you're being given any less? It's the same air. It's the same sun. Do you think the sun wakes up in the morning and goes, ooh, I got to give their 87 level director, I got to give them more sun today? Do you think the moon says, I got to put on a bigger smile for them? Ooh, they've reached the top of their company. You know what the sun says? I don't give a shit. I'm going to be me. Isn't it time for you to be you? You know what the problem is? You know what the problem is your prospect has? They can't see your light. And you keep pointing to somebody else. They can't see your light. I promise you, when Monique was going through a challenge, there were days she wanted to hide. And she was getting healthier. Didn't seem like that. Her light wasn't so bright. The reason she sits there now with this amazing hair and this beautiful everything she has is she couldn't see her light. When I was growing up on a farm and my mom was having her little alcoholic debuts and I was the baby and she said, rub my back. There was nothing else I could do. You know how good I got at sneaking out of the house to go do chores? How many of you liked doing chores when you were growing up? How many of you, the life inside the house was so pitiful that you loved to go do chores? I loved to go to school. I absolutely loved to go to school. Why would I love to go to school? Because I didn't want to have to deal with the pain of being home. I wasn't good at school. There would be absolutely no way for me to want to go to school. But the pain there was a lot less than the pain home. How many of you all know what that situation's like? You all know exactly what that situation's like. I just saw a word pop up, allowance. How many of you are getting an allowance on life? How many of you are getting paid? Well, I wonder what I get paid this week in my joy. How many of you are getting an allowance on joy? There's a cap to it. There's a ceiling to it. An allowance on love. I'm not worthy enough. That's awesome, Elijah. There used to be. I would make sure you fully develop that story of what the used to be was. Because here's the thing, your essence says there used to be, and you're going to come across a lot of people that wish they could have a used to be. How many people you're going to talk to are wishing they could have a used to be story? When was the last time you started? When was the last time you started on hope? How many of you got into your business going, I hope this works? You started on hope. Hope moved you into action. Hope moved you into decision making. Hope moved you into belief. And how far along the race did you drop hope? And you said, I got to work harder. I got to have determination. And you got back into your old story. And fear and doubt showed up and said, well, what do you got hope for? See, here's the reason that word works. Here's the reason that your breakdown is your breakthrough. It's because when you become hopeless, when you become hopeless, you open yourself up to the wild of possibilities. I'm going to encourage you though, It's important for you to find your tribe, your ride or die. How many of you are surprised that when the stuff hit the fan, some of the people you thought were close to you, you thought some of the people that would be there for you, you couldn't even find their number in your phone? How many of you have ever been let down? What'd you get let down on? They didn't let you down. They didn't let you down. They were just being them. It's your expectation that got let down. Stop putting your expectation in somebody else's craziness. What Kim say about the bleed thing? Why you bleeding all over people that didn't cut you? Why are you bleeding all over people that didn't cut you? Come on! Why are you bleeding all over people that didn't cut you? Oh my gosh, they broke my heart. They didn't break your heart. You broke your heart. You put expectation in them. You gave them courage. You gave them strength over you that they did not deserve. What's that? What? So Kim was saying this weekend, when you get down to rock bottom, and you finally get hit rock bottom, you realize who the rock is.
All right.
You a whole beast.
Amen.
Woo! Pass the plate on that 10 times.
All right.
Listen, I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to be here today for you. I know I'm supposed to be here today for me.
Yes.
Y'all get that? Yesterday, the Holy Spirit had me sitting in the front row. Yesterday, the Holy Spirit had me sitting in the front row, and I didn't make it to the call. Y'all had me covered. How many of you are saying, Jesus has got me covered up? How many of are you keep running out from under the damn covers? Y'all keep running out from under the covers.
I got it now. Let me go.
Teach.
Y'all are amazing. Please, y'all are amazing. You don't need me, but I need you. I need you to help me with my message. I need you to take this message of you. Don't take my message, take your message. This is my message. This is my goal. Go make your own crown. If I'm dropping the nuggets, you picking them up, I'll lay them down. You picking them up? What are you going to turn them into? Don't keep them as nuggets. Go turn it into fine art called you. Go turn it into the masterpiece that is you. How many times have you heard that phrase? I just want to rub up on you. The world is looking to rub up on you. They're looking to polish you. They're looking to turn that gold into this shiny, amazing object. And the challenge is when you start to see the shiny, you go, that ain't me. I'm tarnished. I'm wore out. How often do you see possibility around you? Listen, how many of you could give me a 1 hour conversation on leadership on a coffee carafe? You want to see the possibility that exists right here in this? You know what? I partnered with a company. Y'all ever go to like IHOP and ever get, I'm going to ask you this. Y'all ever gone to IHOP and you wind up, you got some coffee and they bring that little coffee thing out to you, that little copper colored coffee thing? And they just bring a whole pot out to you. They bring a whole pot out to you. Why do they do that? Why do you have the whole Bible in front of you and not just chapter by chapter? Because they want you to pour it into your cup. Fill your cup up. Let it overflow. Because it's all there. And when that pot runs out, you go get another pot. You ain't getting life chapter by chapter. You're getting a whole damn book. Y'all keep reading the introduction. You're trying to go to the appendix, and you can go search for life. Why do they put the cap on it? Why do they put the cap on it? To keep the heat in. Some of y'all are giving away your heat. Some of you all are giving away your spirit to the wrong thing, and you're going, why ain't it coming? Why am I running around so cold? Keep it freshly hot. And here's what happens. If your spirit, if you believe in a higher power, have you asked big enough? How many of you, if I brought you a coffee, you said, man, I need me a cup of coffee. I bring you a little espresso cup. And you're like, well, that ain't a cup of coffee. That's an espresso. That's a little tiny cup. Here's the thing. Why does that little tiny cup work? Because what goes in it is concentrated. Some of you need to concentrate your efforts. Some of you need to become the espresso of your life. How many of you ever drank weak coffee? Now, if you like weak coffee, that's your thing. But if you want a strong, good cup of black coffee, tea person, Jasmine, you're a tea person. Absolutely. So there's white needle tea. It's like, I don't know, $38 a pound for white needle tea. But isn't there some teas that are absolutely has the medicinal, it has the flavor, it has the bouquet. You know when tea ain't right, right? And you're supposed to bring tea off of a boil. Listen, there's a difference. When you make tea, there is a science to making tea. You're supposed to boil the water and then pour it in off boil. You don't ever pour boiling water onto tea because it does something with this. You got to let it off boil. You got to take it off the stove and you got to let it cool down a little bit. And then you pour it in and then you let it seep. How many of you, I've heard enough faith sayers. You need to seep in the word of Jesus. How many of you aren't seeping in your own greatness? You're trying to seep in my cup. Get the hell out of my cup. I don't need your fingers in my cup. You got your own damn cup. Seep in your cup. Some of y'all don't even own your own cup.
Oh.
What would your cup of you look like? You're going to sit down. You know why somebody can't drink you up? You know why somebody can't? Their hands are clean. You know why somebody can't drink you up? Because you ain't got a cup to hand them you. Should we keep going? We're on page 3. Okay. Hell yes.
I said, y'all, we all got little ashes on us. We get burned today. Wowzers. I hear you. I hear you. Woo.
Do you want to live your dream or watch somebody else's? Do you want to live your dream or watch somebody else's? Listen, you can go to the movies, but sometimes their movie's going to be over. You got to go back into yours. For all of you ADD folks out there, squirrel, how many tracks you running on? You know why you can't get to the finish line? You ain't staying on one track. Now, LaToya, you just gave it all away, girl. Oh. How many tracks you running on? Listen, when you're a mama, you run that track. When you're a sister, you run that track. When you're a sister, you run that track. Listen, when you're a daughter, you running that track. Yo, we getting crazy up in here. Lose our mind. Lose our mind. Y'all ready for this?
Are y'all ready for this?
You got to get excited. Listen, this one's going to hit you hard. You got to get excited. You got to get excited for the hill. You got to get excited for the hill. That one just hit me hard. You got to get excited for the hill. You got to get ready to run up. Listen, and you can't encourage people unless you're in the race. Otherwise, you a spectator.
Tater, are you?
You a big old tater on the sidelines. Are you have to be in the race. See, here's the thing. When Monique started her 409-pound lost journey, well, she didn't lose it all, but she was at a 409 pounds. And she lost 5 pounds, and she saw people losing 20 pounds and 50 pounds. And she's like, yeah, and they're at 50 pounds. They're at 50 pounds. They're at 50 pounds, and they're at their perfect weight. And she ain't even got started. She's like, I didn't even get started. I got to lose 235 pounds. I lost a football player she just posted.
Oh my gosh.
And somebody lose, you see those size 4s go to a size 2, and you're like, I just want to eat them. I just want to eat them.
Just dump them and break them in two.
I hope a strong wind comes by and blows their ass away. I ain't going nowhere. I'm the Rock, baby. How many people do you see with success? How many people do you see rank advancing faster than you? And you go, I ain't good enough. And you know they're a knucklehead. You know they're a knucklehead. And you go, I'm smarter than them. You might be. But are you telling your story as good as them? What's that thing they say, ignorance on fire? How many of you have absolutely put out your flame with intelligence?
Oh.
There's people who say, he don't know what he's doing. You know what? You're damn right. I know why I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I know why I'm doing. How many of you are trying to figure out, what am I doing? That's where you get lost. You will never know what you're doing, because in this moment, the unlimited possibilities, you're taking that out of play. If you think you know what you're doing, then maybe you should be in the high heaven sitting on an altar somewhere. What time is it?
I don't, 9:48.
Oh my God, I've talked right through the half hour, the hour.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Don't be apologizing.
We love you, Sean.
No, question. Keep preaching. So we woo. Yeah,
Keep going.
4. Questions, comments, thoughts. Y'all, I'm gonna give you all a chance to breathe. So Latoya, go ahead. You got your hand up.
Yes, I had a big aha moment yesterday.
Yeah, baby. You know why they put me in the corner room on the top floor of the hotel?
Shout out to Nano for dropping that link to watch Bob Proctor's Paradigm Shift. And Bob Proctor, I mean, it was so clear, because it's not really hard, but we make it hard because, first of all, we wasn't taught this, right? And then on top of your calls, it just gave me this big aha moment. I was just like, whoa. Now I'm like completely a different person. I just want to thank you so much to just keeping me on that path. But it wasn't just you. I had to make that decision to be on that path. So thank you so much.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Don't thank me for being you. Thank you for being you. That was already inside of you. All of the everything. Listen, every one of you, everything you're about to do, every greatness that's about to be revealed to you, every aha moment you're about to find in your life is already inside you.
Yes.
The Creator didn't send you here with nothing in you. He didn't say you're going to run into people. You're going to run into other beings that I created that are going to make you. No, he said, I already made you. God don't make no junk. He may put a little junk in the trunk, but you already got it. You already got it. And when he says, when you start to listen to the word, you're going to not hear everybody else's thoughts.
That's right. Breathe in, girl. Breathe again.
Breathe.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
so sexy, I use a Sharpie to stir my coffee. Thank you, LaToya.
My pleasure.
Brittany, go ahead, my love.
Hi, Sean. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Good morning. I have two things that I wanted to ask about. I know my camera is like freezing. Don't mind it. So you said on here, when someone asks how much I made, that's it. Just end the conversation, right?
No.
Or-
What I'm saying is the reason they're asking.
Go ahead.
So here's my suggestion. There's three things. Ballroom at 11. Ballroom A at 11. That's where we're having lunch today.
Ballroom A at 11.
So here's the thing. When people ask you a question, they're only looking for one of two things. They're either looking for a reason to believe in it or an excuse not to. That's it. The challenge is that you answering it hoping they're believing they want to when they're really looking for an excuse. So my response to them, my question back to them is, because I need clarity, I would say, I get asked that all the time. But I want to ask you this before I answer that question. The response I'm going to give you about how much I make, are you looking for a reason to get started or an excuse not to? A reason to get started. I've made $50.
Sorry?
Sign here. I've made $500. Sign here. I've made $1 million. Sign here.
Awesome.
Well, wait a minute. That's not enough. No. You said all you needed was a reason to get started. So was that a lie? I mean, sometimes you got to stand strong in your own soul. You can't let them take you down. Because then you're going to go, oh, I'm not good enough. I don't make enough money. So here's how I answer that question. I get asked that all the time. But I promise you, there's going to be very few people who make the money I make for how much I work. So let me ask you, what number would get you excited today? Listen, all y'all can say that. All y'all know people who are making big bucks in your business. How much money would get you excited today? And they'll give me a number, $5,000 a month. Listen carefully. This is why you need to know your stories. Some of you can recite me chapter and verse about the Bible, but you don't know your team's stories. So 10K. So if Mike said 10K, here's what I'd say. Hey, Mike, let me ask you, how many people do I need to introduce you today that are making $10,000 or more for you to get started? And then he'll say 3. So if I introduce you to 3 people and you believe what they're saying, you're ready to get started? Put the ownership back on them. All they're trying to do is, hey, listen, can you give me a reason to keep me from living my dream? I ain't living your dream. Y'all hear that?
True.
Give me tell me how much money you would like to hear. How many people, what number would excite you? 10K a month. So then I'm going into prospecting. When's the last time you made 10K a month in a part-time job? I've never done it. What makes you think you can do it here? What kind of crack are you on that you think you can start a business tomorrow and make 10K a month and you're going to tell me this ain't working? Y'all need to be sure about the questions they're asking you. what's everybody say when they go to church? The devil's gonna tempt you. You got prospects gonna tempt you. Are you living your dream? You are gonna get tested. The problem is you forgot you got the cheat code. Does that help? Does that help, Brittany?
That helps so much because I was legit going to ask you how you answer that. And then I have one more thing. So, how many times have I been around it? So you asked how many times have you been reminded by people around you that you've made mistakes? So, I also try to kind of shine what I've learned onto my sister.
Yep.
And oh my God. Like, not even to tell her how to live, but that's how she takes it. And she gets so offended and she just snaps at me. And I'm like, I don't know how else I can explain to you. I'm trying to tell you with love that there are so many other possibilities in this world than just the world you're living in right now. And I know I tell her with love and I move with love. And I just want to know, I guess, how can you kind of tell people that they're kind of not to insult them, but she's kind of closed-minded, and I'm trying to tell her that there's so many other things that in this world than her like reality at this moment, without offending her and everything that she's ever known.
What do you do that your sister knows you love her?
I do things for her when she asks. I check up on her. I hang out with her, but
that's her liking you. Those are things that like you. What do you do that makes her love you?
I don't know. We don't really hang out. We don't really talk that much anymore ever since I started my own business because my sisters, they just don't support me. So, once I started talking about personal development, she's like right off the bat was like, no, I won't trade Forex with you. And I was like, I literally was never going to ask you that, but I just don't know what to say.
You're living a business instead of a life. If they're saying, I'm not going to trade Forex with you, that's a business. That ain't your sister. I love you. But I just figure out don't even talk about the business. I figure out a way to be her sister again. The reason that she's getting mad at you is because this business took you away from her. That's what I'm hearing. My family still lights candles for me. They're going, how could you, this idiot, this 0.9 grade point average, how could he have a global business, a global empire? Because it ain't about my smarts. So go figure out a way to love your sister again, and don't worry about her loving you. You start. Because this is gonna hurt your business because you know that you can't do stuff in your world without love in it. And the closest love to you that you want to do things for, that you want to help things for. Hey, listen, say you might even have to do the apology approach. Because here's the thing, you're sitting here being a little sorry, not sorry about life. You're just sorry that there's the connection got lost. And you may just go back to her and say, listen, I'm sorry that, are you the older sister or the younger sister?
I'm the youngest.
So you're not supposed to be an entrepreneur. You're not supposed to be the one that's going out and building an empire. Is she the oldest child?
No, she's the one. There's 5 of us, and she's the one that's old. That's right before me. So she's not.
Have you ever dealt with the jealousy that exists between you and her? She was the baby. What's the age difference between you and her?
3.5 years.
Yeah, for 3.5 years, she was the end all be all. She was the gift. She was the last gift. She was the baby of the family. She got all the attention, and then you come along.
Yeah. It's true.
And her lack of love is a form of jealousy. And it's not that she wants to be jealous, but she absolutely loves you. You're her baby sister. She knows what you've been through. She knows what you're about to go through. And what she's trying to do is she's trying to keep you from her story. And in doing so, she's keeping you from your story. Go ahead
Write
now.
this down.
Okay.
So here's the female perspective. We're going to get rid of the testosterone.
Hey, y'all. Oh, you have to turn yours down. Can you mute yourself?
This is what I got to do.
Okay, is that better, y'all? Okay, so I'm just going to give you one phrase that will really stick out to you, Brittany. And if y'all want to quote this, quote it with Angel Fletcher, because this is who said it. Y'all, be in their eyes, not their ears. Sit for that for a moment, Brittany. Be in your sister's eyes, not her ears. Oh, I just got a Charlie horse. Oh, hang on. Sorry.
That's the devil trying to keep her from telling the story.
It sure is. Brittany, I'm the baby. Tessa's gonna fall off her chair. I'm the baby, and my middle sister, who's 2 years older than me, does the same thing. And it wasn't until here recently that I just remained in her eyes and I got out of her ears that she has now joined what Sean and I are doing and has actually brought 2 other people in. But if I would have stayed in her ears, I would have done nothing, just pissed her off. And it's like what Sean says, there's 2 ways to have the tallest building. You can either build yours the highest or tear all the others down. So stay in her eyes, not her ears. That's from Angel Fletcher. Marinate in that for a little bit, Brittany, and it'll all make sense.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Yeah, I love y'all.
How many of y'all know people that can read the Bible when they get in the parking lot and they're a heathen? Because they want you to hear the word of God. They ain't walking the word of God.
Stay out their ears.
And here's the thing. I'm going to speak to you as the baby, to the family. You want to do it all for them. You've got a better chance. You've got more capacity. You've got more capability. You've got more. The world is different for you. You're an amazing soul. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for inspiring me. Thank you for being somebody that lifts me up, makes me say, I done something good today. Does that help, my love?
Yes. Thank you, Sean. Love you.
You bet. How about Lazy? Lazy on line 3.
That's sexy, no, isn't it?
I don't know. Go ahead, Lazy, with an L.
That's sexy, Noah.
Hey, give me 1 second, Sean.
Okay, gotcha.
You as well. Thank you, guys. Hey, how's it going, guys? Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you guys hear me? Can you guys see me?
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. See you and hear you.
Okay. One thing that Brittany had said that absolutely brought light to a situation that I had gone through a couple of years ago with my brother was when I had first purchased land out in West Texas. I purchased about 10 acres. And I wanted to build like a family ranch and everything for my family so we could all go there and hang out and live together, you know? And I told my brother about my vision, about my dream. And he completely laughed in my face. And that, honestly, my brother's 10 years older than me. He taught me how to do a lot because my dad wasn't really around. So he was my mentor. He was the person who I looked up to. And to have him laugh in my face or treat me like that completely destroyed me, completely destroyed how I felt about myself. But then I had to realize that, what helped me realize just now on this call is that more or less they see you as their younger brother. They see you as their younger sister. They see you as, this little kid who is growing up, or this little kid who is sniffing his shoes. But there's, what did I write down here? What you said just related to me because of my experience and what I went through with that. And Rhonda definitely helped with being their eyes, not their ears, because over the last couple of years, I've been in my brother's eyes, and he's come to respect my vision and see my vision. And he actually joined Amway and tried to get me to join his network marketing business as well. But what I realized going through all that is maybe me telling him, or me taking this leap of faith first, is what inspired him to do the same with his business, with his life. So keep pushing, and maybe you'll inspire your sister. It may not be with trading. It may not be with something that you enjoy, but maybe you may inspire her to do everything that she was scared to do. I haven't talked to my brother really about that since, so maybe I should give him I'm going to give him a call and talk to him. Yes. Good morning, Rhonda.
So you want to know a secret? They went around to the
Yes.
most difficult, the roughest penitentiaries on the planet. And they asked the wardens, because they're trying to figure out how to control the inmates, right? You got people locked up in bars and you do all of this stuff. First of all, this is sitting too hard on my heart. Why is the tag lazy on your post? Is that your name?
Sorry.
No, not sorry.
That's like a tag name. If you saw if you saw my YouTube channel, that's what my YouTube channel is called.
It's called what? Yeah, see, God doesn't even want
lazy. Smart, think smarter, not harder.
Well, then just put that as your damn hand. Why are you bringing in lazy?
Smarter, not harder?
Well, I don't know.
Because.
Put the abbreviation, something, but who wants to hang out with lazy? That's like me hanging out with dopey.
You're right.
It's not about me being
You're right.
It's right. I'm just saying you ain't lazy.
That's right.
There you go.
But that's right.
Because
that's right.
If you say
if I may explain myself on why I have that.
I don't need no explanation.
That's right. But the reason why you don't need an explanation.
I don't need to.
You don't want to hear the story
because it doesn't lie. No, I don't.
Oh, it's a good story though.
It ain't a good story. Let me tell you about the story of the crucifixion. Let's all sign up for that one. Now, what I'm saying is that every word has vibration. Every word has vibration. But here's the thing. I'm going back to the penitentiary. And they met with all of the wardens. And they said, how do you control the inmates? What system do you use? What training do you use? They go, we don't need to train nobody. You know the easiest way to control the toughest inmate? Listen carefully, y'all. Laugh at them. Laugh at them. That's the way they control the inmates. They laugh. So when somebody laughs at you, man, you got to be tough. You got to love. You got to go, oh. Laughter is what controls us all. Listen, my daddy taught me the one who controls the laughter in the room controls the room. That's why you like speakers who make you laugh. That's why you like trainers who make you laugh. Because we want to give up our freedom through laughter. That helps.
Something else you said
Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. But something else that you had said, damn it, it just left my mind again. Oh, there it is. You had said that we have to show everybody else or show people the mess in our lives. Not to portray that you're holier than thou or everything's just going right for you. And that's something that I've been experiencing with the last month or so. I mean, my house is a complete mess right now. I'm in the process of moving. We actually got an eviction notice 2 weeks ago that we had to be out of our house by January 31st. And not worrying about the how, of course, everything always works out. And we're extremely blessed for that. But something I've been doing recently is just showing people the mess in my life and showing them that, hey, I go through hard shit too. We all do. And we all need to be here as each other's foundation, as each other's ground, as each other's rock to help each other through those times. So these calls have definitely helped me. Everybody else on these calls has definitely helped me with understanding my story, understanding who I am, where I come from, and where I'm headed. So I appreciate you guys. I thank you guys very, very, very much. I love you.
Love you, Noah.
Noah.
Appreciate you, brother. You're the bestest. Ike Davis, IG, Hotline 17.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, firstly, I want to say thank you, man. You're a blessing. Lots of love from the UK. But one question I have that's really been on my mind recently is, what's the best way to find out where people are and meet them where they're at?
Excellent. So you and I are going to meet for coffee today. What do you do? What do you do?
So what do I do at the moment?
Yeah, so we're going to meet for coffee, and you're going to, what's the first thing you need to do? You say, Sean, I want to meet you for coffee. You say, great. What happens next?
We figure out a time and place.
Okay, so what place?
Let's say Starbucks.
I don't know how to get there. I say I don't know how to get there. What are you going to ask me?
I'm going to find out where you live.
Where are you? So now I
yeah.
tell you where I'm at. What are you going to do now?
I'd probably try and figure out. I'd probably go on like Google Maps and show them like the way to get there.
Okay, so that's how you find out where somebody's at. You ask them where are you at. Listen, in your business model, in your success model, in your family, in your stress. Do me a favor. It helps me understand. Do you want to get out of there? And then if you want to get out of there, I need to find out where you're at. Every one of you, if I were to ask you, I'm coming to your house, you want to invite me to your house, I need directions. The first thing y'all are going to ask me is, well, where are you starting from? I'm starting from my same place, but my destination is going to be different for every one of you, isn't it?
Mm.
Some of you are trying to get people halfway through the destination. You're trying to give them directions from where you think they are. Well, here's what you need to do. You need to go prospect for people. I don't like to talk to nobody. Some of your business requires you to meet people where they're at, and they will never join you in business. How many of you are just trying to get people in business? You're going, get on my business bus, get on my business bus. When you get on the personal bus, when you get on the life bus, when you get on the friend bus, that's a different business.
So like what type of questions would you ask someone? Let's say you're meeting them for the first time, and because one thing I've been doing recently is not really showing the business, but more trying to figure out their problems and really trying to figure out who they are as a person, which I've been learning from you. So what type of questions would you maybe ask them?
So tell me your first name.
My first name is Kieran.
Kieran?
Kieran, yeah.
Kieran. So Kieran, let me ask you. Here's what I do when I sit down with anybody for the very first time. I ask 3 questions. First question is, hey, listen, do I have your permission to help? Second question. So answer that for me, Kieran. Do I have your permission to help?
Oh, of course.
Cool. Awesome. Do I have your permission to make you feel a little bit uncomfortable? Just a little bit?
Yeah.
Awesome. And I'm glad you answered that way, because you're going to love the third question. Can I take you to a comfortable feeling before we leave here today?
Yeah, of course.
Kieran, let's just cut to the chase. You seem like a nuts and bolts, let's get it done, bottom line kind of person. What do you need in the next week? What do you need in the next 30 days to make your life even more worthwhile? Are you looking for something in your body? Are you looking for something in your spirit? Are you looking for something in your mind? Are you looking for something in your finance? Next 30 days, what's going to make your life go, damn, this was the best 30 days of my life? What does that look like?
That's a deep question. Probably more so being able to become more. That's a deep question. You know? More so be able to become more sure of myself in the sense where I can take that consistent action and really just be able to inspire others as well.
So here's the problem. Kern, I appreciate that you think that this is a deep question. Listen, y'all ready for this? Buckle up. Roller coaster's going upside down right now. Y'all are having $1 million dreams and asking penny questions.
And
Y'all are asking penny questions going, I don't know why they don't get it, because you didn't ask them $1 million question. I ain't got time for small talk. So you want to get a little bit more confidence in yourself. Curran, there's something you know you could do right today. We never met. This ain't a planned thing. There's something you could do today that you know if you spend a little time doing on that, it would up your self-confidence. What's that one thing you could do a little bit more of today?
Probably, to be honest, just to keep taking all that massive action without even thinking about it.
Well, all-out massive action is good, but we don't need a shotgun approach. You can be all-out massive action as long as it's on the right track. What would be the track you would take today? What would your massive action be directed towards?
Really just building more relationships and, again, just trying to find out where people are at the moment and trying to, I guess, figure out how to move them from where they are how to move them where they are to where they want to be. And I guess
so let me ask you this. How many people have you talked to in the last week?
In the last week? Over 50, between 50 and 70, I'd say.
Okay, so let me ask you this. 3 people ago, the last 3 people you talked to, can you tell me what college they went to?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. One of them went to one called Collier's. One of them went to a university in Elephant and Castle. And the last one, I can't remember. I can't lie.
Do you know what their dog was named when they were a kid?
Nope.
Then you're running over people. Why are you running over so many people? And you probably, out of those 70 people, I promise you there were 4 diamonds. But you're driving by in your Ferrari and your bikini and your Lamborghini and bikini, and you're driving by at 90 miles an hour with your door open going, get in! Get in!
100%. I agree.
Going, what was that? Here comes Kern. Get in! And you're going, I'm doing the numbers. This ain't a fucking numbers business. It's a people business.
Damn. That's a crazy paradigm shift there, man. Like, there's a lot of people.
How many of those 70 people gave you a no?
Well, I guess most of them are my team. I can't lie. But yeah, I got like yeses. I think it was like 3 yeses this week.
And are they in your business?
Yeah.
And have they brought people in the business?
Out of the 3 that joined, 1 brought 1 person.
Okay. Have they started trade? Are you in trading?
Yeah, trade. Yeah.
Have they started trading?
I think so. I need to double check.
They ain't in your business. They ain't in your business. They ain't even in their business. Y'all are putting up numbers. Y'all want to go head to head? Y'all want to go head to head in numbers?
No, say no. Say no.
I didn't even have to answer that question. I can't lie, man.
You want to go head to head on connection?
Say no.
I didn't even know what that question means, bro. I can't lie.
I know, but my point is that you're saying I talked to 70 people, and you know what you're going to do? You're going to shock the shit out of your team because you're going to go, I can't talk to 70 people. But out of 70, you got 3. You know what that ratio is? Shitty.
No. Very shitty, man. Yeah.
And you're proud of it. What are you, stupid? Now you know I love you. Listen, I remember that's why I asked you the question. Can I make you feel uncomfortable? I promise to take you out of that uncomfortable feeling. Listen, Those 3 that you brought into your business, have you talked to them today?
Not today, no.
They ain't in your business, bro. Go love them. Go love them like they're in your business.
So it's more so not the quantity but the quality of the interaction, I'd say.
How many Bibles are there?
1.
Why do you think there's only 1? It ain't quantity, baby.
There's so many. That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Hey, I'm going to say something to you that will kind of sound like it's not making sense, but it is.
And all her smarts are in that hair on top.
This hair. So I am lucky enough to have Angel Fletcher in my life. And so you will understand the validity. I'll speak to you in your language. The numbers of her is, what is it on a low end a month for her, Sean?
Now, probably 250.
She probably makes $250,000 a month on the lowest end. And one thing I took away from her that helped me get out of the numbers game is she spoke last night on stage. This woman has anything and everything that she wants. She has over 60,000 in one group. And she said, with tears in her eyes, she's lonely because of the success. And there's only 1, maybe 2 people she can trust. But this is what she does. Because of that, she makes sure all 60,000 in one group and however many, 30,000 in another group, she makes sure none of them ever feels lonely. You sit with that thought for a minute and you will soon stop saying how numbers this, numbers that, numbers, and you will begin to live when you start helping people. Oh, somebody got to do that. Hang on. Okay, sorry.
Oh, good.
When you start loving people and helping them with their darkest moments or with their darkest areas, you will grow at a rate that's unbelievable. But every time you think numbers, I got to go talk. Yeah, you got to do the work, but do it for the right reason and realize there's a on this planet that can have anything and everything, that has all the success that every one of us on this call wants. And it's lonely in success. But what she does with that loneliness is she makes sure none of us, even the little tiniest people, none of us have to feel that.
I was pissed because I wasn't expecting that. And I had just done food shopping with the wig. I had just changed my wig. I had that car packed with shit. All that shit was in my car. So I was really pissed. But at the same time,
you can go back.
So, how is it with you?
That's crazy, man. It just shows that, again, it's like, it's not about how many people you're speaking to. It's about, I guess, how you're solving their problems, and really just like you say, it's not multi-level marketing. It's me loving more.
Bingo. So here's the thing: your company pays you for 2 things: customers and building leaders. Does it pay you to go piss off 50 to 67 people?
No, no.
Why are you doing that?
I don't even know, man.
So here's why you're doing it. Listen carefully. I'm going to love you through this. The reason you're doing that is because you want to help the world. That's the only reason you put yourself out there and get sacrificed. You got a good heart, brother. And guess what you get to do right now, Curran? Guess what you get to do right now? You ready?
I'm ready.
You get to use this story for the rest of your life. When somebody says, well, what do I need to do? I want to be like you. Say, listen, I got a wake-up call. You could do this for 20 years from now. On January 26, 2020, I got the shit kicked out of me on a phone call. I was gonna be all buff and say, man, I talked to 70 people this past week. And then he went, how many joined? I said 3. And then he asked me, how many did you talk to today? And I said none. And then he kicked the living crap out of me. And he said, staying in your business. And I got hit in the gut. This guy's across the ocean, and he literally knocked the living crap out of me.
Facts. Facts. Damn.
But all of a sudden, my business changed. It was that day my business changed because I decided to be about quality, not quantity.
So I guess when you're speaking to people as well, it's the intention. Is it the intention you have, like, behind it? So, for example, like,
are you worried about their intention or your intention?
Mine. I'm saying mine.
Good luck. You're going to talk to another 70. And now, who's got your intention?
What do you mean?
Who's got your intent? Who's sitting down across from you going, I hope Curran signs me up?
No one.
What do you think they got? I hope Curran helps me.
Mm.
You know what your number one product is? You know what your number one product is?
Tell me.
It ain't your back office. It ain't your comp plan. It ain't your company name. Your number one product is a solution.
Bro. Bro.
Hang in there. The ride's going to be tough. Hold on. If you can hold on, you can get through this. So here's what you have to become good at. Learn how to tell your story that your solution is your company. Your solution is your team. Your solution is you. Because nobody wants to do what you're going to do, but they'll go through it to get their solution. How many people want to go do their job?
No one.
Why do they do it? Because they need it. They need you, Curran. They need you, brother. You're giving them a reason to not need you. You're giving them a reason to stay stuck in their old story.
How
many people have you asked for? You see, here's the problem most of y'all don't realize. You got to ask people for permission to help them win.
Okay. Okay, it's making sense. It's making sense.
So what did I ask you? Do I have your permission to help? Guess what? I'm going to ask you the question again, but this time say no. Hey, Curran, do I have your permission to help?
No.
We're done.
Do you get people like that?
Why am I going to waste my time with you?
Yeah, that's true.
You don't help. You don't want help. Let's grab a cup of coffee. We'll talk about football.
Yeah.
But you think because how many of you have ever heard show the plan 10 times a day, you'll become a millionaire. Show the plan. Why would you you don't get paid by your company to show the plan? Your upline gets paid by you to show the plan, not the company doesn't pay you.
So I guess, is it that we get paid on it's more the lives we impact and I guess the problems we solve?
Well, no, we're solving the problems, but the only way you can solve a problem is if they join you on your bus. Yes. So we have to go. I've got a lunch of 25 people that's going to happen here in about half an hour. So we're going to have to wrap this up. But does that help, Kurt?
Oh, bro, that helped a lot, man. Honestly, I appreciate it, man. You're a blessing, bro.
So here's the thing. I'm gonna ask you to pay a price. I'm gonna ask you to show some love because here's what I mean by that. Go say something about me on social media, and it's not about me. It's about people saying, "What? So what did you learn?" Because see, if you take this and you make this yours right now, that's a totally change of story. People are oh, it ain't a story. But see, I can go to my lunch today with 25 Latino leaders and say, I talked to somebody in the UK today, and let me tell you what he said. I will use your story. It ain't my story. I can't use your story as my story. So don't use my story as your story. Use this story as a moment that you grew. But if you start to go spout out my gold, it's going to come out as fool's gold. Go make it your story. Go, man, I just got my shins kicked in today.
Oh, that's
But you know what that's going to mean as a leader? It means that you were vulnerable. And when you're vulnerable, people can go, oh my God, you have access to this guy? This guy just awoke in you. This guy changed your whole business model in a 25-minute conversation. You have access to him and you can go, yep, let them come through you to get to me. Now you're changing the world.
Damn. I appreciate you so much, man. I got nothing but gratitude, man. Like, oh, that's crazy, man.
And y'all realize this, y'all ain't my business, but you're in my world, and I build people for a better world. So you all are in my business. You are my business. There you go.
Damn. That's crazy, man. I mean, bro, nothing but gratitude, man. I mean, I know I took too much of your time, so I'll let you go back to your lunch, and I hope you have a fun time, man. What are you actually up to anyway? Are you guys on like a convention?
So we had a team event this weekend. We had 250 people from around the world come into a private team event. And now most of the people have gone home, but my Latinos go home tomorrow, and we're doing lunch with them today to have a leadership meeting for them. That's what we do.
Nice.
So there you go.
Nice, man.
All right.
Thank you, man.
Well, tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. I'll see you all then. I love you tons.
Take care. Love you, Sean. Take care, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Love you all. Have a great day.
Bye, guys.
Have a great day, everybody.
Bye, y'all.
Bye,
Y'all
everyone.
tomorrow.
Morning. Hey, we get to go through this ringer again.